The naked sculpture salutes you. Naked because I like working naked. You don't want to see everything. It is a splendid day here in the Netherlands, but I chose to stay home and do something which I like a lot, and I want to share this with you. The whole morning I worked on carving a number of very small details. As you can see, this is far from being finished, but I want to tell you about it. Details, first of all, are not so much appreciated in today's culture, and people don't have time to pay attention to details and interpret them. And another thing is that people don't get art appreciation courses in school, classes on school, in school, and they don't know how to read this language of visual art. Whereas music, you add lyrics to it, and then you a certain rhythm, and then you get something which is very clear out of it. For instance, shaking your booty, and your beauty when visual art is a little bit more difficult. However, learning this language is, I think, bringing a lot to your life. And here's one thing about it. People cannot buy Picassos or whatever, which is on sale or not on sale, and bring them to their homes. Going to a museum is sharing a public space, which is already much better than looking in an art catalog, but it's still a public space. But when you decide to buy a piece of art, I'm not talking about people who buy art that matches their poodle, their couch, their carpet. I'm talking about people who say, "Hey, I want to buy something, and I'm gonna have it in my house, not just to impress my friends or to just put it someplace and forget about it and clean the dust of it, but an art that when I'm looking at it, it would inspire me and make me think about things and discover it in different ways. Because every time you are holding a piece of art in your hand, holding, as I'm talking about small statues, right? It's a different reading of this piece. Just like every time you meet a friend, you see something else. It's maybe the same friend, more or less, although people change, but you also do, so you see something else. So as I mentioned, a friend may change in time because it's a human being, but a piece of work is the same. So if something changes in the way you look at something, it says something about you. It's your change. It's your sense of observation of those details that I was mentioning earlier and interpreting them according to your mood, according to your understanding. A small statue, I like making small statues, is allowing you to hold it in your hand and also add a tactile feeling to it and turn it all around and not just having on a pedestal in a museum. So it's something nice. It's inviting you to take it in your hand and look at it. And I'm not going to tell you how to interpret my work, but just to give you an idea. While I'm working, I also take my artistic decisions, and I will reveal a couple of details. For instance, the glance of this penis, in other words, in plain English, the head of the cock is almost detached if you look at it from all the, because it's almost losing its head. It's a metaphor, I was thinking, for these two guys enjoying having sex together, and this guy was gonna be in an ecstatic pose here, almost losing his head, while this guy is very strong and being able to support the weight of the other guy's body on his feet. Another thing, when I was while working on it and taking my decisions, is how this leg turns from, you see the thigh goes in this direction and then it turns almost in an impossible way with this sole towards the exterior, which is almost like an Indian sculpture in one of those temples decorated with a lot of people having sex and enjoying sex. And another thing, I was making decisions about how the balls, the scrotum and the balls, the testicles of these two guys are going to be represented in here. And I'm not going to give you the response to my personal interpretation because it should be yours. But what I mean is that learn to read art and learn what to think and have the freedom and courage to think about art in your own way. And because art, as I said, is not changing, it's the same piece every time, but every time you look at it and you see something else or interpret in a different way, it will say something about you, and this is a way of you knowing yourself better. And I think art is a language that can help you greatly and improves your life a lot if you can and like to learn this language. So have a nice day with two guys having sex here. The statue is not finished, as you can see, but there are many more to come. I like working very, very small details that tell people things. Oh, look at the tongue there. You see? It goes like, whoop. It's almost like eating ice cream. But I digress. Have a good day. Bye.